Welcome back to the End Time Remnant YouTube channel. This is Dorothy, and this video is for December 15th, 2025, officially the middle of the month, and I pray that all of you are blessed and doing well. Today's lesson comes from the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20, which reads, "But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good in order to bring it about as it is this day to save many people alive." So many of us have repeatedly over the years heard the biblical story of Joseph, right? His brothers sold him into slavery, and then he ended up having to endure many years of unfair treatment and suffering. But at some point, the Lord elevates him, and he goes from the pit to the palace to become second in command over Egypt. He gets married, he has 2 children, he's wealthy, he lives happily ever after, right? And the story of Joseph is always taught to us from the angle of Joseph's suffering, but ultimately being restored in front of the same brothers who betrayed him. I think people typically like that part. The same people that messed you over are the same people that you end up helping because they're in a not so great position. And then you get elevated. And they're not, But recently I learned that the story of Joseph isn't really about Joseph. And the more I sat with that, the more I thought, wow, what a beautiful and powerful revelation. It's actually about the preservation of life, and more specifically, the line of Judah, which is, as we all know, the line Jesus Christ comes from, right? As I look back over the trials and the challenges and the persecution that I've had to endure over the years, I know one thing for certain. This journey is not just for me. This journey is not just about me, and it was never only about me. There are other people connected to the suffering I have had to endure. There are other people who will benefit from my years in the pit. They will benefit from the tears I have had to cry. They will benefit from the ways I have had to go through certain things in order to come out on the other side with a powerful testimony of God's faithfulness, right? The pit is where I was prepared for the palace. The pit is where I learned to depend solely on God, right? The pit is where I learned to harness the anger of betrayal, just like Joseph. The pit is where I learned the importance of patience and long-suffering, just like Joseph, right? The pit is where I allowed the Lord to give me my new identity, just like Joseph, right? The pit is where I was trained in all of the ways necessary in order to be raised up to the palace and be ready to go. Joseph didn't need any time to get ready for the position that he was being promoted to. He came ready, right? And why was he ready? Because of all of those years in the pit. God prepared him, right? The reason why this lesson is so important for us to learn as followers of Christ before the promised land is because sometimes we have a way of thinking the promotion in and of itself is solely God's way of restoring and recompensing us for all we've had to go through. But biblically, when you see God intentionally raise up one, it's to preserve many, right? It's never just about you. It's never just about one. It's about many. And it blesses my soul to know that what I've gone through is not in vain and that God will indeed get the glory. And there will be people who come to Christ and who are saved as a result of what I have had to endure. And it is really the same for you, church. And it is so important for you to know that. What the enemy meant for evil, God is going to be using for good. And all that you have had to suffer is not just about you. You can't even imagine the far-reaching ripple effect of what you've had to endure is going to bless other people. So that's all I have for you on this video. And God willing, I'll see you next time.